Hi, welcome to Taste This TV. I'm Chef Joe Ciminera. We are on the taco hunt, and the taco hunt brings us here to Mexico in Mercado Gomez, which is a small town here, as you can see. Now over here, they're known for their fabulous, incredible, innovative tacos, which we're going to check out how they make the tacos. We're going to check out what they put in the tacos, and then we're going to feast and find out what makes this town so special for what they serve. Taste this. So I'm here with Mariana, and we're talking about what it takes to make a taco shell, which is to actually take this. It starts off with corn flour, goes in the hopper with a little bit of water, right?
Right.
And then it gets molded into a round taco shell. Then on a conveyor belt, where it actually heats it and cooks it, and then comes right back up here, drops it in the slip, ready to be consumed.
Exactly.
Now, what would go on here?
Here you can put whatever that you want. Guacamole, chicken, pork, beef, whatever that you have in your mind, you can put on there, and it's a great taco. Here.
Interesting. You just put it on there and eat it up.
Exactly.
And these get packages for everyone in the area to take, right?
Exactly. For example, here in Mexico, we don't have tortilla in our food time. It's like a no food.
That's right. It's like the Italians not eating bread, you know,
Exactly,
with the meal.
just like that.
Now, there's a little bit of shops around here that have like chicken, etc., right? Different things.
Exactly. For example, they will find chicken rolls. They can make pork too, cochinita pibil, and also some different flavors from the Mayan Riviera, like a chili.
Right.
So,
interesting. Very good. Well, what we're going to do is head back over there and see what else they're whipping up as far as food, so don't go anywhere. Taste this. So we're here with Zenaida, and she's a master chef here of this town, and she's doing this incredible chicken dish that's going to be made into a taco. ¿Cómo se llama plato?
pollo pibil.
Pollo pibil, which seems to be the most popular dish around here. People love it, and she makes it good. This is home-style cooking right here in Mexico. Okay, so here you have the taco, the famous chicken taco of this town, this area, on a soft tortilla. I brought taco expert and my brother, Phil Ciminera, on the show here in Mexico because he is the taco king of America. And I brought him here to actually taste the actual taco that goes out. So let's have a...
Don't mind if I do.
All right. As you can see, 2 big bites and he'll devour the whole taco. He's not messing around over here. Now the trick is, because he can't talk much, I'll be his speaker. So he might go in again. He goes again, we know it's good, and if he eats all of it, then we know it's just fabulous. Okay, so now we know it's good.
It's fabulous.
It's fabulous. He didn't have to take a 3rd bite to tell it's fabulous. Buenísimo. But that's going to wrap it up here in this small town in Mexico that's known for their delicious, incredible tacos made from scratch. We're not finished yet. Heading back over to the United States where we're going to whip up some more Latin cuisine, so don't go anywhere. Taste this. All right, so now we're going to get started on some incredible recipes. Hope you enjoyed that trip to Mexico. But I'm just going to announce some of the products that we're going to be working here because I'm real excited about. Starting with Garlic Gourmet. Today we're going to be using their honey lime rub. We're going to be stepping over here to Usha Fine Foods. Now, this is their Latin blend that I like so much, and this is going to actually go perfect with our tacos. What we're really going to incorporate that's going to be nice to this recipe is this Prosecco, and this is from Volpe, and they make dried sausages, pancetta, prosciutto, etc. This is really going to add some great flavor to the dish. We have over here Village Salsa. Going from coffees to salsas, this is definitely incredible. We're going to be incorporating that in our tacos. We can't forget about Georgia Olive Farms that we're going to be using. Exquisite olive oil to help and add the flavor and the texture to what we're cooking with the meats. We're going to be finishing today with Village Roasted Coffees, and today we're going to be using their Ethiopia Decaf. And we can't forget about Ed Wood's International Sourdough. Today we're using his San Francisco culture. We have our Roth Gran Queso here. Let me talk a little bit about this cheese. When you're talking about Latin cooking or any type of Mexican recipes, the Gran Queso cheese is just incredible. It matches perfectly. And we've actually shaved some up here. We're going to be using it and incorporating it in our taco products. And we're also going to be using Viva Tierra organic products. We have their pears and their apples. And we have some more Volpe pan cheddar as well. And of course, we can't forget, we're going to be finishing today's show pairing Bricks chocolate, in which we're going to be pairing their chocolates with our incredible Merlot that we have in back of us today. A great way to finish the meal. So I hope you enjoyed that trip down in Mexico. In fact, when you want great tacos, that's definitely the place to go and get them. You know, from making the tacos from scratch, as you saw in that machine that looked like it was a very old machine, but it did the job. And it made us those wonderful small tortilla shells, which then can be later molded and fried into oil to turn into crispy shells. And we also met that lovely woman actually on the side of the road who's making that, I believe it was called pollo sanfrito, which basically was chicken stewed in red sauce and epazote, which is a popular spice in Mexico. And you could put those combinations, some sliced red onions and some lettuce, and you're in. And of course, we had the taco king of the United States, Chef Ciminera, actually approved the taco by saying it was a fabulous taco. So there you have it. So now we come back here to the States, and we're going to talk about mixing some of our own tacos as well. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about something I did yesterday that I definitely would not have time to do today. So I just figured I'd bring a little bit in and talk about it. I actually stewed some really good ribeye after I've trimmed from the raw state some of the fat off, and I've incorporated it with some potatoes here. And I put some sun-dried tomato pesto in there, a little bit of red wine, and I stewed this baby for 6 hours yesterday. And this really would go perfect on this taco. I wish I had, in a half-hour show you can only do so much, but stewing beefs for a long period of time is actually perfect when it comes to making tacos. In fact, I would always rather stew the heck out of the beef and break it down as opposed to taking a steak and slicing it thin and chewing on it. This stuff melts in your mouth. But anyway, so I've taken some ground beef here, some steak, ribeye New York strip, put it in the hopper. Now I have chopped meat, right, aka chopped meat. So what I'm going to do is saute this because we have our olive oil. We're going to put that down in the pan first and put a generous amount. You're going to get some fat off of this, depending on, if you put this in your own hopper at home, then you know how much fat to add and how lean you want it. Now we're going to put some Latin spices in here, which you're going to do a couple of things. It's really going to release the flavor, and it's also going to incorporate itself into the oil. So now it takes our cooking to a different level, right? Now we're going to add our beef. We're going to move our beef around a little bit, and a trick to kind of keep it from sticking and becoming a meatball is both moving it around and also hitting it with a little bit of white wine, which we're going to do right away. The liquid will help break up the beef, because when you're eating a taco, you don't want to have big globules of beef. Okay, so that's good. Next, what we're going to do is take some other seasonings that we have here. This is some garlic and some onion flavor that's really good, and it's really going to add to this dish. I'm always careful about how I put in dry herbs and ingredients. This is definitely one that's good. And then I'm going to go back to some of my Mexican spices as well. Of course, we have epazote in here. And I'm going to be putting that in there. That's going to change the color. That's going to change the texture, etc. And I'm going to move this around like so. Just kind of marry it a little bit, get it together. And already it's looking very nice. Now, I'm going to have some added extra flavor in here. I'm going to take some dried sausage here, and this is the Prosecco. And this has got an incredible salty flavor. If you notice, I didn't add any salt in there yet. So I'm going to take the Prosecco, slice it thin. Again, you don't need all of it, but what I'm going to do is just dice it a little bit, because this flavor of the cured sausage here is going to be incredible. And it's going to have the salt flavor, and it's going to release it into the pan dish here. And this is my version of tacos, or at least taco meat for now. Now it's really coming together, smelling incredible. You got the right amount of sauces and spices, and you can see the sauce is getting a little thick. and that's good too. You want to cook it nice and slow because this stuff doesn't take long. And then what happens is when the meat is cooked, what we're going to do is add a little bit of our cheese. Now this is a grated cheese. I've used a microplane to get it really, I mean, it looks like confetti. It's so thin. We're going to add the cheese to this. We're going to shut off the fire. And already you could smell the flavors of the cheese. Now I haven't added any salt, but you need to add just a little bit. Take your salt, whichever you like. I mean, it could be flavored salt if you want. All right, so we're going to turn that around. Move this over to the side. All right, now these are 2 microgreens that we're going to work with, both to enhance our color combination and flavor. Now, we get these from Fresh Origins, and they're a microgreen house. This is Meadow Sorrel mix, and sorrel goes incredible with anything that's Latin flavored. And we also have this micro herb mix, which has chevre, that has red oak, it has titsai spinach. And what basically we're going to do is mold it. You see how it molds up nicely? It's a lovely green, and you can eat a whole mouthful. It doesn't really feel like you're eating much, but the flavor really pops. Okay, so now move that over there. Just going to take a little bit of microgreens, put it in a bowl, and hit it with just a little bit of oil. I don't want to weigh this down to make anything flat, right? I want these herbs to stand up and still retain their flavor. A little bit of salt. And, you know, just gently with your hands, move it around. You don't need much, believe me. If you put too much oil, these things are just going to go whoosh, they're just going to flatten down and not be any use to you. I'm going to put that in the front. That's the end. Now, how do I get my tacos to stand up on a plate, right? Well, unless you have an expensive taco holder, what I recommend is getting some good quality cheese and putting it in the center. And that's what we're going to do. We'll take some of this goat cheese that we have. We're going to take the goat cheese. This is like food glue, right? Let's say we make 2 tacos. Right? Let's make 2 tacos. Put that down. You're going to take your taco and mush it right into the center of the plate. Now, popular to most opinions that are out there, I like to put my tomatoes down first. You could put sour cream if you want, but it really, I don't like to mask any flavors or anything like that. So, I mean, this is going to be so good, this beef. It's just perfect with what we have here. And you could put raw onions like you saw in Mexico, the lady was doing. You will never catch me putting raw onions on anything. If you've watched this show before, I can't stand any raw onions with anything. All right, so now we put our taco meat in there. And you can see, I mean, look at the color contrast to the beef. It's got like a nice shiny flavor. And a lot of things have helped that. The olive oils helped that. The dried sausage. And if you want to put extra sauce down on here so it oozes into the cheese and you can go back in there for a fork, you can do that as well. Let's add a little bit of extra sauce there. Now we take these microgreens. We're going to put them right in the center of the taco. That's okay if they fall over because they look really nice. And then I'm going to run over here, take my microplane. I'm going to take some of this cheese and with a microplane, go right over the top. This, my friends, is a taco. And I love this microplane because it just looks like snow on there. It gets everything evenly. All right, so here you have the first taco. Things are going to change on the other one. We're going to now step from Mexico going a little bit to the Italian-style taco. So don't go anywhere. Taste this. All right, so now we're going to get started on the next taco recipe. Now, pancetta has always been a favorite of mine, right? I like it sliced thin when I'm doing stuff like this, taco things, because you could use the cube pancetta if you want. Then you got to go back to kind of, rolling off. I mean, I like things thin, able to fit in a taco that if you take a bite, you're not going to worry about you ate too much steak, and you got to make up for it by taking a bigger bite just so you follow that piece of steak at the middle of the taco, if you kind of follow me here. What we're going to do is take this pancetta that we have sliced, and we're going to dice it up a bit. But before we do that, we're going to take some chili oil. All I do is take some olive oil, put some chili powder in there, bring it to a quick simmer, cut it off, strain it 2 days later, and this is what you get. Beautiful chili oil. I'm going to put that right in there. Now the chili oil will add flavor to our dish here. We're going to take our pancetta, and we're just going to kind of, you could rough dice it because it's sliced thin anyway. And once it kind of unrolls it, it'll be good. We're going to put that and onions at the same time. The reason why I don't put the onions first is because the pancetta has so much fat that it's really going to cook these onions pretty quickly. So, like I said, you want to make sure that there's enough fat if you're not going to fry your onions first. Otherwise, you're going to be getting, crudité onions, raw onions, so to speak, crunchy, which is not something that I like in my cooking. Now, next what I'm going to do is add some pears in here. And these are really good quality, organic pears. And the good thing about adding pears with something like this that's so salty is the sweet and salty combination really go well. They go hand in hand together. Not only that, but the pears get cooked down so much, you're not even going to be able to tell that they're pears. It's just going to be something sweet, which is always a good thing, especially when you're working with something like pancetta, which can be so salty. Now, what I'm also going to do is I have some salsa here. Now, this is tomatoes, jalapenos. This is some onions. And I'm just going to put a little bit in there. It's going to help bring out the flavor of the dish. But it's still going to not all be tied together. It's not going to be binded, so to speak. So what do? Well, we got some goat cheese here. And this is a 4-pepper goat cheese, which means there's 4 different kinds of peppercorn wrapped in here. And we're going to put that in there to help tie everything. We're going to put at least half. We'll start off and see what it looks like at that point. Take it off the fire and just kind of mold everything and bring it together. Now, as you can see, you definitely want to take it off the fire like I did. You don't want the goat cheese broken down so much it starts to just like break up and look kind of nasty. Just give it some time. Rome wasn't built in a day, either will be your tacos. All right. Now it's molded. I could take it with a spoon. It would probably even benefit if I left it just sitting here for a couple of moments, which I'm going to do as well. Now, if you really like goat cheese, you're really going to love this dish because I'm actually going to put goat cheese to mound the plate again like I did before. Just a little bit. We're going to do 2 tacos again. All right, now, what we're going to do is talk about a garnish on here that's both going to add to the flavor. Now, we could have taken just traditional iceberg lettuce and shaved it like every Mexican restaurant or fast food Tex-Mex place does, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take it to the next level here and taste this. And what we're going to do is take some lemongrass, and the lemongrass is really going to go well with this. And we're going to take a little bit of lemongrass, take a little bit of oil, put a little bit more oil than I did the last time, take some salt, and pepper, fresh ground pepper. Be generous with it because it'll cut through some of the bittiness. Okay, now, mold it around with your hand, that's okay. And you see what it does to the color, the texture? And you can see that the pepper actually sticks to almost every little piece of the lemongrass that's there. Now, we could take our spoon. We'll give this one more toss. And we're going to take our spoon and fill the tacos. You see how that kind of gets together? It goes in right beautifully. The pears are cooked down perfect. The pancetta, marvelous. Okay. Really nice combination. It's something different, and that's what cooking is about, right? Being different, creating things every day. And I love the lemongrass because you get so much height on here. That look pretty cool. Looks a little wicked. I mean, try eating that, but I'm sure you'll manage. Try putting that in one mouthful. So our second taco dish, here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next, we're not finished yet, I'm going to make you a dessert that's a combination of both the flavors and spices of Mexico and chocolate. So don't go anywhere. Taste this. All right, so now we're going to get started on making our dessert with melt, honey melt, organic, at last, good fat. Now, this is an incredible non-dairy, alternative, soy-free product that's incredible to use in baking. And we're going to get started with that right now. All right, so now we're going to get started on our dessert real quick and simple. We have our spread here, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, and we're just going to mix this up. This acts as our paste. I'm just going to kind of mold it together. All right, now, as you can see, we've mixed everything up, and right away you smell the cinnamon, you smell the sugar. We have some dough. This is sourdough, right? So we have some sourdough. We've pushed down a little bit, molded it. We're going to take this mixture here, real simple dessert, really good. And we're going to line, not too much. You know, we want an even spread. We're going to be rolling this baby, so don't put too much in there. Now, we're going to take some chocolate, and we're going to do something called shocking the chocolate, which is basically with your knife going down on a big block of chocolate. Wow, it's good stuff here. And we're going to take our chocolate, put it right on the top. Now, Brix chocolate and honey melt and Ed Wood's sourdough are going to be incredible to this recipe. All right, now what we're going to do is take this and roll it. Try not to mold it too much. Kind of roll it easy, roll it easy, roll it easy, and then stretch it a little bit. Stretch it. Stretch it. You guessed it. Stretch it. All right, now I have some oil here, and I'm just making sure that it gets coated with the oil. We're going to throw it into an oven, 375 degrees, probably for about 15 minutes. Pull it out and pair it with some wine and delicious coffee, so don't go anywhere. So to pair up this dessert that you see that we've taken out here, you can see the chocolate oozing out, really incredible sourdough dessert. Pairing a wine with an incredible chocolate that we have here, such as Brix chocolate, their Pinot Noir, is a perfect combination. The chocolates match perfectly with the wine and this dessert. And if you wanted to take it a step further and have a little bit of coffee, Village Roasted, their Ethiopia decaf, pairs just incredible. I mean, there's no comparison to this particular blend, this Ethiopia blend, to this chocolate. Is perfect. And again, this is a smooth dark chocolate, if anybody wants to know, from Brix that really pairs good with the coffee as well as this incredible wine. That'll do it for today. Thank you for joining me on this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Ciminera. There are no rules in cooking. Taste this.